Welcome back to dagryffyn Hobby. My name's Dave, and today I'm doing some more work over here in the corner on the layout. I don't have a significant amount of work to show you this week. It's been a little cold, and right now it's about 30 degrees outside, so it's probably, I don't know, 38 in here. And I am sitting on top of my heater, but it's just not enough. My hands are getting cold, so it's a little hard to work. But what have I been doing since the last video? I've been working on this corner back here, trying to support the bridge for the upper loop, and also fill in this blank space. And I'm not sure this counts as a loop as far as the layout goal is concerned, but it is a loop of track. And it does work. It's definitely by far the shortest loop on the layout. It might end up being a lot of fun. I'm not really set on what I'm going to do with it. I had really wanted to use this spot for a little bit of yard, but really by the time you fit a couple of switches in here, it's not going to hold anything. So I'm going to stick with my original no switches on the two main loops because I just want uninterrupted, reliable, continuous running. I'm not willing to sacrifice that just to get a small yard over here. So what am I going to do with this spot? I'm thinking I've got this loop here. There's going to be mountain. I might eventually have another loop above the upper loop and have it kind of come around. Who knows? I don't know. It's all up in the air. But what I am working on is figuring out if a loop here is worthwhile, if it's doable, and if it will add interest to the layout. And I think it is going to be feasible. It's obviously not going to provide a lot of running capability, but it is action, and it will be kind of just a fun little whimsical spot. I've considered even putting like a push button here, so if there are kids visiting, they can push the button and then the train will go. At the moment, I'm just trying to visualize the spot, get everything to work in a somewhat cohesive fashion, and see where I can go with it. So let's take a closer look. So what I've been working on is trying to support this end of the bridge and the track as it goes over to the back of the room. What I've done so far is cut these essentially tunnel portals. I don't really plan on having a tunnel here as much as maybe a blasted through rock formation of some sort. It's currently 6 inches deep. I might add another 2 or 4 inches to the total depth of it. You can see the black line there. That's a rough idea of how I may carve it out so that not everything, I don't want to be left with right angles. I want it to look at least somewhat natural. So I might carve that out along that line and add some more depth to that whole area. Same for here. This is just kind of a temporary piece to visualize what's going to happen under the bridge. Again, the black line is probably about where I would carve into the foam to make a bridge make a little more sense in the spot. So when you're coming along this bottom track, the outer loop, it would go through the tunnel or the overhang or whatever you want to call it. And then they would just be carved out rock there before it turns and goes around to the back of the layout. So with that being the case, it leaves me again with this kind of isolated small spot. And that's why I was thinking just a small loop of track. Whether it's a mining train or just a short freight that pops in and out of a tunnel. Somewhere here there will be a portal. I don't want it to line up with these because I don't want it to look too uniform. So whether if it goes back just a little bit or if I bring it back halfway, I'm not sure. Maybe somewhere along there on the front half of the turn. And so it'd only be out for maybe half the total loop. So this is how it stands at the moment. So I'm going to do a little more work on here and try to give you an idea of how I'm going to construct this scenic masterpiece. At the moment, these pieces are really just sitting there to help me visualize where a mountain might go. That was exciting. So as I was working back here, again, I wanted everything to be removable. And I just realized when I was looking at this that I've started blocking it in. So I need to kind of change that. I don't know if it's feasible, possible, or even likely, but I thought it would be kind of neat if this loop over here was able to just pull off of the layout and I could take it somewhere with me. And the more I look at it, the more I think that really just isn't going to work with the way everything else is playing out. But I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind just in case it sort of works out. These two pieces that this loop sit on can come out, at least currently. And this beginning of the mountain. Obviously moves. And then this piece, at least currently, sits right there. Now I'm fumbling around a little bit because my hands are cold. And I don't know if it shows up on the video, but I can see my breath. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing out here. So I'm going to, I guess the technical term is futz. I'm gonna futz with this part of the mountain and then probably call it a night because I don't know how much more my hands can take. So let's fiddle, let's see what happens, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that was pretty quick because honestly, I can't feel my fingers anymore. So we're gonna stop with this being a rough draft of this spot here. But that's really how I go about designing this stuff, is I have an idea of where I want stuff. I have a necessity to get things in a certain spot, and then I kind of make the two come together. So now this track comes over the bridge and it's supported on both ends, because that's how bridges work. And then I've built up the ground underneath the track, mostly, to support it. And obviously it will need tweaking and work and all that, but this is just a piling of scrap to kind of get a feel for what it is I need the space to look like. Now, this overhang obviously is not ideal. And I've ended up with a lot of overhang like that for the upper loop in order to get it to work, because I just couldn't plan for it because my brain just doesn't work that way. So if I went back to redesign this layout again, this outer loop on the bottom would be maybe 6 to 8 inches away from the wall all the way around, so that I would have enough space to build up the land behind it to support that second level, instead of having to do this kind of cantilevered odd rock formation thing that I've been doing. But hey, it's a learning process. This is the first time I've built a big layout, so there's bound to be quite a learning curve. So part of the challenge is making these odd shapes work, and that's what I'll be doing next. With this space here specifically, I will, when it's maybe a little bit warmer and I can feel my fingers, I will come out and cut pieces to fit this space. and I'll shape everything to hopefully look a little less awkward. And then once that's in place, I can come back to this section and continue the mountain over this loop. It's cold. So I think that's it for this week, because I can't feel my hands. But these are the sacrifices we make for our hobby. This weekend, I believe it's supposed to be 9 degrees outside, so I don't think I'm gonna be back out here for a little bit. Any of you guys who have a heated training room, I'm jealous. So I guess this layout update here is more of a theoretical one than one in actual action, but it's what I've been thinking about. And I do hope I get back out here before too long to work on it. We'll see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, unless I'm frozen solid, on dagryffyn Hobby.